Welcome to the Only Male Cruise Show, the podcast. I am the Only Male Cruise. Be sure to hit the like button, share, subscribe, leave a comment. You know I want to hear from you. Copyright disclaimer regarding fair use is in full effect. The views and opinions expressed in this show, you guessed it, they're all mine. Let's go to work. Yes, indeed. Let's go to work. Welcome to the Only Male Cruise Show, the podcast. I am the Only Male Cruise. I got a special guest in the house today, Shanati, a.k.a. Slums Radio. Y'all know who that is. What was said? Welcome, Shanati.
Hey, Mel, you can hear me?
I can hear you very well, young lady. Absolutely.
Hey, everybody.
So, before we get started, be sure to hit the like button, share, subscribe, and also make sure you go over to Slums Radio and subscribe as well. So I was working on a video of this Ari Fletcher and her comments, and I was just getting so upset. I was getting irate. So of course I had to reach out to somebody who also makes me irate when we have opposing opinions. And that was Shanati, aka
yes, here I am getting on nerves as usual.
No, but I thank you, because even though you and I, our points of view aren't always in alignment, you always make sense. So your perspective is always a good perspective. So it's interesting to hear, but I just couldn't do this one alone. Not out of fear, but just out of frustration, to the point where, I want to just start throwing stuff, because I cannot believe the level of ignorance that Ari Fletcher has just demonstrated on here. And it's a shame. It just makes me feel bad for Moneybag Yo, if you really want to know the truth about it. So now, you told me earlier before the show, Shanati, you said that, what'd you say? You feel like
I have mixed feelings.
Mixed feelings. Okay. Shout out to the chat, Baby Shay, Shrinking Sharon, Ms. Lackey. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Be sure to hit the like button, share, subscribe. We're going to drop the link if anybody wants to come up later and, get in on this conversation, because we are open to it. But so you have mixed feelings. Now, why do you have mixed feelings? In very short, tell me why you have mixed feelings, Shanati.
I seen a piece of the clip of what Ari said. So I don't know if you have the clip to play it, so people could know exactly what this in reference to. Because my mixed feelings comes from the way that I think that she said it and the way that it's being interpreted.
Right. Okay. And so, and if anybody's seen any of my videos, y'all know I come with clips. I ain't gonna say receipts, but I do got some clips. But what I thought we would do is actually start off with what's Sean Davy Way. I'm gonna go ahead and rock this video real quick with what Sean Davy Way, his perspective on it, and let's go from there real quick.
Well, why not? Why not? Stiff face ass.
Yeah, you talk to like, pull your gun out and show me like bitch leave.
Pull your gun out. And what's cute about that? There's nothing cute about that. Like, you literally want this man. It's no, and you can get canceled for this, Fletcher. You better ask Drea. She said in an interview and said that she wished the dude loved her that much to shoot her. Fenty dropped her, and this bitch still begging to get her deal back. Rihanna dropped that ass after she said that. So you're sitting here inciting and trying to trying to make it glamorous for a man to pull a gun out of you so that you won't leave? Because that's what I'm saying, that she's toxic, because there's a lot of females out here that the only way that a dude shows that they care about them is by doing crazy shit to them, putting his hands on her and threatening her, and so to them, that's him showing love. Girl, I know he loved me. He won't even let me leave. Girl, he be pulling guns out of me and shit. Girl, he be choking me and shit, throwing me back in the house, throwing my stuff, girl. But That's my nigga. No, that's toxic. You're a bad person, Ari. You need to go get this checked out because it's something wrong with you if you think that that's love.
Absolutely. I couldn't disagree. I agree so much with what Sean David Wade's show said. Now, just based on that alone, Shanati, what are your thoughts about it, Love Bug?
I think that from the clip that I've seen of Ari saying what she said, I think that it was her version of being kind of playful, obviously immature, but I don't think that she meant it literal. I think that a lot of people who are in hood relationships say things like that and want displays of affection like that. I just think that what she meant was she wants somebody who's willing to fight for her, somebody who's not okay watching her leave, because a lot of people are in relationships just because they won't leave, just because they're needy. It doesn't matter what the person does to them over and over again, they will not leave. And I think that her thing was, if I'm leaving, I want somebody to say that they want me to stay. I don't want to be with nobody who's okay with me walking away from the relationship, because if that's the case, I really need to leave. If you're really okay with me leaving, I probably shouldn't be here. So I didn't take it in literal. Like when she said it, I didn't get a vision of her being at gunpoint with Moneybag Yo and being held hostage or anything like that. And the way that I heard her say what she said in the interview, it just sounded like pretty much she was just saying she wants somebody to show physically that she's wanted there. Mm-hmm. If that makes any sense.
It does. And I get that. And, and to her credit, to Ari's credit, she did say that that's how she used to be. And I get that too, because we all got to grow, you feel? So I get that concept. Give me just a minute here, y'all, because I'm trying to.
I just don't want to take nobody out of context, because I've been taken out of context, and I know how easily that could happen.
Right. And like I said, to her credit, she did say that that's how they used to do. And because of that, Moneybag Yo or somewhere in there, Moneybag Yo told her to say, hey, grow up. And so I get that. I get all of that. But, and so, yeah, that's the part that's not being said exactly. So, but the thing is that when the outrage occurred, we get Ari doesn't want to apologize. She doesn't want to recognize that, what she said is offensive. And then she added salt to the wound by, insulting people who have, had to deal with domestic violence. And so that's what my issue is. So let's get into a little bit of the clip here, kind of put this little ensemble together. Let's check this out, Joe.
You ugly and I don't like you, first of all. That's one. Okay? That's first. Not y'all who like me. I'm talking about other people. I'm talking about all the victims here. Okay? One, you're ugly. You don't even have a man, first of all, who wants to pull out a gun on you, especially to not leave. Nobody wants to do that. Okay? Not to you. Nobody even cares about you that much to do that. So let's start there. That's one.
Okay. So that is problematic for me because she is equating that type of negative behavior as a demonstration of love. Now she may have thought it then, okay, but now shortly after all this uproar was created, she's still sticking to her guns, and now people are ugly if they disagree with her because we're so ugly we ain't got nobody to pull a gun out on us and want to whoop our ass. Excuse my language. This is why I had to have you up here, Shanati, because it wouldn't have been nothing but a sailor show up in here without you. Shanati, thoughts?
Now, as a domestic violence survivor myself, I'm just going to have to say this. I heard her call people ugly for saying what happened. I feel like her calling people ugly was for them responding and attacking her. If you don't like something that somebody says on the internet, just unfollow them. You can leave your comments, and you can also disagree with what they say respectfully or, you know, disrespectfully. But if that person responds, don't be like, oh, boo hoo, you hit me when you came over to her to say something. So her responding, I'm pretty sure the comments that she gets are negative and nasty, and that's why she calls people ugly. Every domestic violence victim doesn't identify with what she said as being insinuating violence. Some people know that it was like a joke.
Okay.
And from my understanding, she's been in a domestic altercation in the past herself. Different people handle different things. You know, a lot of people handle different things with jokes. Most comedians say that their jokes come from the pain that they've actually faced in their real life.
Right. I agree with that. I mean, I feel you on that. The point is that
I don't believe in fake apologies to make people happy. That's the thing.
Yeah,
if she said what she said and she stand on it, I respect that. I hate when someone comes out and issues a public apology to save face. Because if she would have came out immediately afterwards and said, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean what I said, I'm donating to domestic violence, the same people who are upset with her would have still been upset. And then they would have said, oh, she's lying. She's doing this for clout. She's doing this to save face. So she's being real and saying, yes, I said that. Yes, I heard that. And no, I'm not taking it back. I wasn't saying you should be held up at gunpoint. I was saying what I want for me. And I try to make it my business to not impart what I believe on anyone else. I know what that feels like as a human being. I know what that feels like as a woman. I know, even, you know, no shade to you. Me being up on this panel, I'm pretty sure is because I have a history with domestic violence that you're aware of. But that is not who I am.
Right.
That's not who I am. I am way more than what happened to me. Absolutely. So different people handle what they go through differently. And I'm not going to say that I've never been in a situation where I wanted to break up or got mad at my guy and the act of me leaving should have made him upset. Absolutely. I expect like I said in the beginning, I expect for you to want to fight for me to be somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so good point, Shinati. And I'm going to tell you, yes, one of the reasons is because I know you have a very strong view, a qualified view of domestic violence because you have endured it and you've suffered through it. And although I've not and survived, absolutely. And I also have a history of that experience as well. And so, but my thing with Ari is, like I said, the thing is not to judge her, because I agree with what you said, Shinati, that, you know, if she would have came back like, oh, I'm so sorry, y'all, sure, here go $1,000 to the DMV or whatever it was. You know, if it's not genuine, then fall back, because it's not doing any good. But I'm coming really from the perspective of social responsibility. So, you know, this next clip here is the situation. Now she says, well, y'all, you know, y'all ugly. Y'all mad that don't nobody like y'all because y'all so ugly that don't nobody want to show you no love. Nobody wants to show you no love like this. Okay, well then let's look at this clip real quick. Let's look at this real quick.
When you put the location, a street hazard, a house.
Ambulance is coming, come check you out, okay?
House Mill Road and Woodley Drive.
How'd you get all those?
Because he dragged me. He punched me in my eye. That's all my fucking happened to be black.
Oh, coming in from Marta.
Smacked me all in my face. He spit on me. Anything, the fucking worst shit you could think of, he just did.
What's the phone number for you?
Yeah, for all the Robert Gardens, but they don't want to
Do you have your ID on you?
I don't know where it's at.
What's your name?
Fletcher.
So, what you crying for? What you crying for, Ariana Fletcher? Since, you know, somebody abusing you and wanting to abuse you is a demonstration of love. What you crying for? You should have been getting them up. Now I get it. In that particular clip, she's upset because, you know, the Herbo drove off with the baby and this and that, but you didn't say in all that little crying part, you didn't say he took my baby and then he hit me and then you talking about and the worst thing he could do to me, he spit on me and I'm gonna have a black eye. Wait a minute, I thought that was love. I thought that was a clear demonstration of love, Ari Fletcher. Shanati?
See, and I feel like for me, if that's the case, then I can't make jokes about things that happen in relationships neither, because what he did, physically hitting her, putting his hands on her, is not the same thing as her saying that she wants somebody to stop her from leaving. And so I don't want to conflate the two. She didn't say I want him to take the gun and beat me upside my head and black my eye. She said I want him to pretty much not let me leave, and if he got to use an object, a gun in this particular instance, to stop me from leaving, I want him to show that type of tenacity. I want him to show that sort of passion, is what she really sounds like she's asking for. But again, I don't look at her as someone who I'm taking advice from, life experiences from, or anything like that. So to me, she doesn't owe me anything. My daughter just turned 18 a week ago, and she doesn't owe my daughter anything. She's not a role model to my young teenage daughter who's in a relationship. If my daughter is looking to her or anybody else on social media for wisdom, encouragement, or advice or anything like that, that's a totally different problem. I still personally, I don't feel like she deserved domestic violence. I don't feel like you should call people ugly, but I know the majority of the people in her chat talk about her looks, call her this and they call her that, and they're mean over there, and they're comfortable being mean over there. And since there aren't too many people who can defend her like she can defend herself, she defended herself. To me, that's that simple. The whole calling somebody ugly thing is superficial, and it's like if it's a hit dog will holler. So if she said, I heard you just played, I heard her say it. I'm not mad that she called somebody ugly. I don't consider myself ugly, so she's not even talking to me. So whoever that applies to, let it go.
Right.
She said clearly that she doesn't want anybody to be, shot or anything. This is talking about from me, and this is how I used to be in the past with my little ghetto toxic relationship mentality. There are a lot of people who are in those type of relationships and they don't feel victimized. They don't think they're victimized. When they scroll down one memory lane of their old relationships and they think of certain situations, they laugh about them. They on to the next person, but it was something funny or childish or immature that happened in their past, and they've gone on and they've grown for it. I think a lot of people get canceled for things that if the people canceling them, if their life was being showed, they would get canceled too. There are many of women who, after they get cheated on by a man or woman, probably, they say things like, I need to know where you are at all times. I need to check your phone and text messages. I need to see what you're spending in your bank accounts to make sure you're not spending on another woman. I need to go with you when you go to the store because I don't trust you ain't going by that. Those are all forms of control.
Right.
You can try to justify it and say that I'm only this way because he cheated in the past, but you are now a controlling individual. You are now an abuser when you do that. And women are often abusers. It may not come in physical form. It may come in financial form when women take money from their men that they think they don't know about, or a form of revenge. When they think that they can do something because they were cheated on in the past and that justifies everything, it's abuse. So again, there's a lot of people who are in these comments and wanting to cancel who have themselves practice abuse. They just don't get called out on it. And most women don't get called out on their abusive, toxic ways at all. Women smack men on TV shows and reality TV shows. Women push men, hit men. They do all of those type of things, and it never gets a reaction. But if a man calls a woman a bitch, even, excuse my language, it's a problem.
Right. So let me
hard to stay conscious of practicing what I preach.
Okay, let me jump in here real quick. And again, Shanati, thank you, aka Slums Radio, aka Shanati. Thank you for pulling up, because had I been up here doing this myself, I just would have been talking and just getting mad, and the live would have been going on. Y'all would have been hearing a bunch of clashing and crashing and bang bang. Because here's my point, and I get exactly what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, and again, I want to preface everything. This came out because Ari had stated that in the past this is how she was, and that she's grown, and Moneybag Yo is the reason why that growth occurred, that he told her to grow up, etc. I get that. That's true. So and had she not come back on to IG and just, dug her feet in and really insulted folks, it would have been like, well, hey, she said she grew from that. They talk things out. They don't blow up at each other anymore. Or she doesn't blow up at him, et cetera, et cetera. They just, they work it out. But again, she had to go for the gusto in it. Now, she had to go for the gusto and make even more insulting and disparaging remarks about women. And I feel like, Ari does have a social media, a social responsibility. Because you're right. I get it. She's got her followers. I think in this particular live, there's like 17,000 in there right now. And, they might just be in there for entertainment. Maybe they're not easily influenced. She doesn't influence me. I really don't know about her products that she sells. I know she's got some weave or something. But the point is that you can't get on social media and make these reckless comments.
But you can, though.
Well, you can.
In America, we have freedom of speech.
I know, Shanati. She does have freedom of speech. What I'm saying is that there should be she should value the role that she has, whether she wants it or not. Whether she wants it or not, people are looking at you. That's why you got 17,000 people in your live right now while you're on IG, Ari. And so, for me, I would want my kids following her. I wouldn't want my kids to take her advice. I would want my kids to be able to hear something like that and be like, man, that's some bullshit. That's not something I'm going to do. But the fact of the matter is that you're just speaking recklessly and to a specific demographic and about a specific demographic, and that's Black women. And to me, that's, you come on now. You just need to be a little bit more responsible. But let's get into what else she said.
Y'all are in the comments like, oh, when I was in a relationship, this boy put out, nobody cares about what happened.
So people do care. That's what I'm saying. And she's so adamant that nobody cares. People do care. Now wait, hold on. Wonder Woman, let me hit a comment real quick. Wonder Woman said, that's why we do have police. That's why we do have to police what our children consume so they don't follow this way of thinking. I agree. I agree with that, Wonder Woman. Mr. Cal, I ain't gonna lie. I'll call a man a beach, no problem. Yeah. I feel you. I feel you on that. But somebody does care, and that's my thing. She's on a broad scale saying nobody cares. If you've been a victim, nobody cares. If anything like this has ever happened to you, we don't care. Look,
what is, can I ask you, what is Karen?
Care enough to tell somebody, hey, you're going to be okay. Care enough to tell somebody if you're a victim of domestic violence, you can go, here are some resources. Care enough to, if you got some money in your pocket, to be a philanthropist to organizations that are out here trying to cure and solve and help other people that are going through domestic violence. Care enough to be an example that with your influence to say, hey, this is not acceptable. Please don't do women this way. I mean, there's so many aspects.
But I think that she was I think that she was responding to the people who are in her IG live. Instagram is owned by one person. I don't go into a live unless I accidentally click on it or I intentionally click on it. And if I accidentally click on it, I can leave. So I feel like when she's saying nobody cares, it means that the people you're boo-hooing to on the internet, trying to make her feel bad about a statement she said about a fact in her life, about how she felt, is not getting you anywhere. To me, when people say that somebody cares and I say, well, what does it mean when you care? What exactly is it you're doing? Because if the case is to make sure that domestic violence women know that they're cared for, then this video should be about that. This video and other videos, we shouldn't be attacking her. If she's a part of the problem, okay, so let's get to the solution. Because otherwise, we're just here for the mess. And her telling her story about her, I'm not offended. She cannot offend me. as a woman who literally fist fought for her own life and survived that fight, which is why I'm here today, by her story. Just like my story should not offend anyone, and no one should feel any type of way about my story. When I tell the story about me, some of the things about happening to my husband, it is not all bad. A lot of it is good because there were good times. I laugh about some of the certain instances and I cry about it. So to say, so when people are in her comments trying to read her about her personal thing, she's saying, I don't care. I understand that you've been through it. What I'm saying I don't care too is I'm talking about my story. I'm not changing my story to make you more comfortable with your story. That is not her responsibility.
Okay,
and the fact that
you're right, Shanati, and I don't disagree with you. And again, I thank you so much for coming up on this panel because I knew you were going to bring some balance and some opposing views, certainly. But let's
not, I don't even know. I think we agree. I just think that the conversation for me, the conversation would be different. About people who care about domestic violence. I wouldn't do if I cared about domestic violence and what Ari said touched my soul. My show would be about either bringing survivors on to tell their story and about how they could get help with links, hotline numbers set up, maybe dropping the cash apps to some of these domestic violence situations, because otherwise we're all participating in our form of mess.
Well, here's the thing.
You can try to say that you're above it and you're better than it. But if we're not actually trying to solve the problem of domestic violence and trying to help an actual victim, we're participating in mess. Simple as that.
So now, okay. Thank you for that, Shanati. And again, thank you for coming up here on this panel with me. And I see your point of view. That's why I'm glad you're here. I see your point of view. But my thing is this voice of because in this live, Ari is not taking any questions. She's not making that distinction like you clearly did. She's not even making that level of distinction. She started off by saying you're ugly, and a lot of y'all are so ugly. Y'all don't have anybody that even want to show you love in this manner. And so my thing is for me personally, not to be messy, because if y'all know, I really don't do, I don't do that messy video type thing. I'm more about how can we uplift. And so you take somebody who's 16 or 17, maybe not coming out of the best circumstances, and they hear this from Ari, and to hear her say, I don't care. You all right. You ain't shit. They may not even stay for the remainder of the live and walk away with those words playing in their head while they decide which bridge they're going to jump off of, because there has been no one there to give them support or even show them that, telling somebody, prove you love me by pulling your gun out on me. So my point is, or my purpose in this particular video is to contribute to the narrative that it ain't got to be the way Ari is saying. But let me get back into some more of what she said. Hold on, stand tall.
To you, what trauma you had, nobody cares. You trying to victimize yourself and use this. Oh, like this. Yeah, don't worry about my wig. Yes, child. Anyway, please stop. You in the comments, you telling your stories about nobody cares. We do not care. We don't care. We don't care. We do not care at all. We don't care. We don't care. We don't. We just don't care. One time my boyfriend, so what? And now what? Nobody cares. Y'all are trying to victim. You want to be a victim so bad. Why you want to be a victim so bad? I know I look crazy. Y'all don't know right. But we do not, I swear, I promise to Jesus, we do not care. Not this much. We don't care.
And so that's what I'm talking about. That, because she's not saying I don't care. She's not saying, I just mean this only for me. She's for someone who's easily influenced, or somebody who's looking up to Ari and didn't know that, her type of foreplay was pull your gun out on me. They're taking that. And so there need to be other voices out there that say, we do care, and this isn't appropriate. So what are your
But
thoughts,
do we care on Twitter and Instagram is her thing. Someone leaving their domestic violence story as a retweet to what she has going on. How is that? What is she supposed to do with that? You live in Oklahoma. She is wherever she's at. Let's just say in California. You done took, and 15 tweets later, you done went down your whole entire domestic violence story on the internet with people who do not know you, people who are not going to reach out to you, people whose house you cannot go stay at if you need to leave your house in the middle of the night, people who cannot put you and your family up for shelter to save you from the domestic violence. None of the people who are tweeting this, who are seeing these tweets, are going to cash app you so you have a little bit of money. They're not giving you jobs, so giving you a job so you could be financially fit to stand on your own. And some domestic violence victims do not want to leave. So when we say we care, you can say you care, Mel, and I can say I care. And to both of that, I'll say, what does caring have to do with that person's real life? If we're not actively trying to make change in someone's life, then is that caring? Because when you care, you do, right? Like people say love is an action. The way that she said that in the past she wanted love to be shown was a negative action. I get that, but that was for her. She didn't say she want that for her son. She didn't say she want that for her daughter. She didn't say she want that for anyone else. Again, she is talking about her. So if you take a story that I tell about myself, and you try to relate to it, that you do that at your own peril. She is responding to comments and Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, wherever. She's responding to people. Even in that live, she goes from talking about the issue to her hair. Her responses are to people. And majority of the people, they're not saying, hey, just so you know, this is my story. They're saying, this is my story, and fuck you for what you said, and, cancel you and all of this. So you don't come to me because you want concern or understanding. You weaponize your victimhood. And she takes offense to that. And so do I.
Okay.
I don't weaponize my victimhood.
Okay.
And I don't like it when other people do it, but they have the right to. But because people are weaponizing their victimhood in her Instagram, in her comments, in her DMs, in her Twitter, she can respond accordingly. If people don't like it, you don't have to see her.
This is true. That's true. That's true. Again, I see your point of view, Shanadi, and I respectfully, see your point of view. Let's get into the let's just get into this next little clip right here.
I'm gonna touch you.
Give me the child.
He beat the fuck out of me clear as day. My ass hurting and black. I'm beat the fuck up. Ain't no to say to win his ass going to jail. It's over with, bitch. You done.
Go inside. I'll be in a minute, okay?
Hey, you a dumbass.
Go inside. Go inside.
Stupid ass. You stupid. Bitch, I'm slapping your fat ass too for driving off in the car with my son.
Come on, go inside.
Y'all know not to play with me. I see y'all drop off with y'all little gun too, huh?
Go inside.
Dumbass.
You see, she doing all the aggression. This girl, I'm an artist, man. I do music, bro. I pay fucking 6 figures a year on IRS insurance because I don't got no reason to be here. This is my son, mama. She took all my jewelry. I came back here to get my jewelry. She only got, I could go show you my shit right there. I came in, I bought this house, y'all. I'm not on the shit, but I bought this house. I don't have no reason to be putting on hands on. I come back and get my jewelry. She said she wasn't there. I let myself in through the back gate. As soon as I come in, the girl get the charging at me and shit. She grabbed a knife. I took my son. I paid for everything in there. I replaced it. I broke everything in her crib. Started launching shit. Where my chains at? She don't want to give me my damn chain. I just was with her 2 nights ago. And I got the charms to my jewelry in there right now. Over $400,000 worth of charms. She has my jewelry in her possession. I never filled out no police reports or nothing because that's my son. Mom, I don't want to go to jail. I just want my jewelry. She get the dog wild, all this shit. I grabbed her. Y'all restrain her. I didn't punch her, slap her, kick her, none of this shit. She raising at me with a fucking knife.
Could have chosen.
So yes, Alicia, girl, whew, if we was giving out awards for the comment, baby girl, it would be yours right now, because that's what I think. She does have social responsibility because she can command 20,000 people at one time to be under the sound of her voice. So she does have some level.
I agree.
Yeah.
She has social responsibility. I think that we need to identify what the definition of social responsibility is, because to me, social responsibility is controlling what you do on your social media platforms. And if you have an audience that comes to see you, then it is your job to entertain your audience and talk to your audience. It is not her job to police and direct the entire social media universe. I do not put that on one person's shoulders. I put that on hers. She has fans who are still going to be her fans. She is for certain people. If she is not for you, she is not for you. I am not for a lot of people. There are things that Sean says that are not for a lot of people. They're not for him. He is not socially responsible for how one Black woman might feel because he's in an argument with Trans Rena. Because that's what you're saying. You're saying that because someone else might be offended by something that you say on social media, you shouldn't say it because you don't know your influence. That's not fair. That's not true. And I'm going to try to hold other people to the same standards I want me and my friends to be held to.
Understood. I get that. Miss Lackey, I know I talked to you before our show got started, and you told me that when you had an opportunity, you would try to come up. I'm going to drop the link for anybody that wants to come up and get in on this conversation. Listen, like I always say, I would love to hear from you. So I'm dropping a link. Y'all can pull up. You don't have to put your cameras on. That's fine. I get what you're saying, Shanati. I get what you're saying. But again, unfortunately, social
I see
response.
one comment that I really like.
Okay.
Aisha put, life isn't fair, but heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Amen.
To whom much is given, much is required. Exactly. But when you are a queen, you have your kingdom that you run. You have your subjects. The entire planet Earth is not your subject. So she speaks to her people. There are so many people who heard what she said who don't like her. And you can hear it on, the Shade Room or the Neighborhood Talk or, wherever else that you might have heard it. And you can respond in their comments and you can go on about your life because you don't follow her. She speaks to certain people. When you are in a position of power, you are leading certain people. You are not leading the entire planet Earth. So she is not responsible to the entire planet Earth. She is not responsible to every single domestic violence victim, as she herself is a domestic violence victim.
Yeah, I see. I see. And Mr. Cal, I don't know if you are saying that for that, but I'm just going to put this up because that's what I'm saying. But that's besides the point.
But
Ari
I don't understand how we say people can't get mad when someone responds, but then their people are mad at Ari's response. She made a statement. She was being interviewed. I don't know if you played the interview yet. She was being interviewed. She was asked questions. She answered those questions how she see fit. Then people responded to what she said to somebody else. She was not talking to majority of the people who are responding to her. They responded to her. She now is responding back. It's almost like people want to be able to say what they want to say, but they don't want the response back to it. That is not how it goes. You responded to her. You probably said something negative, and now she called you ugly. Now she's going too far because she said ugly. No, you shouldn't have been over here. If you can't handle this type of situation, then don't come over here. Because I guarantee you, if somebody would have came to her and sent her something for informational purposes, her response would have been different. But when there are many of people who are constantly dragging her for her looks, dragging her, she's only a baby mama, just dragging her because it's fun to do so, she's going to have a certain energy. And you cannot be mad at somebody that you are responding to for their response back to you.
Okay. So let me jump in here real quick. Let me reset the room, like they say on Clubhouse, and on Twitter Spaces. Let me reset the room. We are talking about Ari Fletcher and the comments that she made on a podcast. And again, as I stated at the beginning of this show, that Ari did, just to be fair, the comments she made about wanting Moneybag Yo to pull out his gun and show her that he want her to stay and don't leave. She said that's how she used to. Do you have that
actual video? I will find it and send it to you if I can. Do you have it? Like the actual interview?
No, because I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I mean, I have it, but I didn't created and edited and all this and that. But the point I'm getting at is she made the statement, and she did make it very clear that that's how she used to think. Which is totally understood. So this is not her that's not her mindset now. She said she, when she conducted herself that way before, our money bag was like, girl, you need to grow up. You need to grow up. And as a result of that, she did say in the video, now they talk it out. They work it out differently. They're more mature in the way that they have the conversation. And I believe that if she'd have left it at that, then there wouldn't be a thing. But now the issue is the fact that she went on IG and has decided
responded to people.
Still, she went on IG and decided that, y'all, you ugly. First of all, y'all ugly because y'all ain't got nobody and all that other bullshit. So, Leisha, you're on the.
Hey, can you hear me?
Thank you so much. Yes, ma'am. What's your point of view?
I just wanted to say, hi, how you doing, sis?
I'm all right.
So I do, if we were in a more intimate setting where, like we are all very, familiar with one another, it's one thing with me and my homegirls, I consider, what's her name, Ari? Like what she's doing is probably what I would have been doing 20 years ago when I was 23. Or whatever, talking my junk or whatever, talking my ish. I did see the clip of her on the podcast with Don't Call Me White Girl. Yeah. And I didn't understand where she was coming from. And I remember, at that stage of life, perhaps having that same frame of mind when talking about, my counterpart or the dude I was dealing with. Mm-hmm. However, I also, had not been lucky enough to get pregnant, by a rapper or, get on the come up, with a hustle or whatever. And I'm not saying that to debase her, her stance or, to, try to degrade, how she's getting, she's getting how she lives out here or whatever. And I applaud any Black woman getting what they got to get, how they got to get it or whatever, do it to death, the wheels fall off. However, as I stated in the comment section, heavy is the head that wears a crown. So I'm not going to, I can't necessarily give Miss Ari the grace of, because she doesn't have the capacity to be able to argue her point without ad hominems, low blows to her subscribers, to people that do subscribe, to what she's doing, to people that do subscribe to watch her, dress up and, look real pretty every day or whatever, and watch her hustle every day. And, like to those people or whatever, I just think that she could have, it's true. She's human, true indeed. And so it doesn't feel good for anybody to be, called out and for anybody to, like kind of, because you got all these strangers, on the internet and they feel very, empowered to get at, who those that they think are more famous and those they think are untouchable. And they feel very empowered to, talk to them out the side of their neck or whatever. So I definitely understand her anger and I definitely understand her, defense. However, though, sis, if you, the thing is, when you get to a certain point in life or whatever, and you got money, I don't have time to indulge with people that I believe are below me. And to me, when you're calling somebody ugly and you can't do this and you can't do that, that lets me know where I stand in your eyes. As a collective, not even as an individual, as a collective. She told, whoever was saying what, oh, you just, like to me, it's the equivalent of saying, oh, you just mad because you ain't got this. And so to me, I say, now what you've done, ma'am, is you brought yourself down a peg. And I think that she, before reacting emotionally and getting up on that camera and going live for the, internet world to see, that she may have wanted to think about what she was going to say before getting up there or whatever, because no matter how far she tries to get, this is on the internet, so this is forever. We're clearly, we're on, Miss Mel's, live stream or whatever talking about it. So this is never going away. So who's to say the next time that she must have reached another level and another, what is it called?
Plateau.
Plateau, as well as, different, getting different crowds in different areas of the entertainment industry or whatever. Who's to say that this is not going to come up, against her or whatever, when she's trying to reach a new demographic. Or whatever, and so I think that she just needs to be, be strategic, honey. Like watch what you say, watch how you walk, or whatever. Because I like I said, I don't have a problem with it, but I do say that for everything you do, for every action, there's a reaction. For everything, there's either a consequence or you're going to be rewarded, or whatever. And I think that we need to be very careful with how we carry ourselves out here on this internet. No, you may not want to be famous, you may not, but once you get up on this internet or whatever, it does in a way make you famous, whether you want to be or not, depending on what you say that goes viral. You need to watch what you say.
Absolutely.
You need to carry yourself as such or whatever. And so, like, I don't have a problem, Miss Harvey or whatever, like that. This is her writing writing on the wall, and this is, her cross to bear. However,
Mhm.
I just think, as I love Black women because I am one, and that's who I'm in proximity with. And I want to see us all win. I don't care how we get it how you live or whatever, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna be there to boost you up every chance I get. However, be very careful when your audience is filled with your sisters and
Come
be
on.
careful how you come at people. Be careful
Exactly.
with that.
I agree with that
And
so much. And Alicia, and just stay right there because that really is a great segue into with Drea. Drea was on a podcast with Joe Budden, and she thought she was kikiing and ha-haing, but it lost her a whole bag, an entire bag.
it absolutely did. You are correct. Yeah, when
It lost her.
and she didn't even go as hard as Ari did.
Come
She
on,
was,
exactly.
I could hear this, sarcasm in her. Like, I knew that Drea was being, joking, and Rihanna cut her off quick. Like, no,
Mhm.
ma'am, not today. And
Not
so,
today.
if Ari Fletcher wants to, go on, what I mean, I don't want her to go, if you want to get to that, to that moment where you're trying to get your business out there, and what I mean, if she finds her niche or whatever, and she's able to, kind of, spread and expand, like I said, the different demographics, because the more demographics, the more money, and the more, generational wealth that we can build for ourselves, or whatever. However, I find, when we, when these young ladies get in these positions that they weren't, necessarily prepped for, and they say these things, just emotionally or whatever, because they're human, and I get it. But let's get some training. Let's go to some, you need to really think about what you're going to say, because you don't necessarily have the mental capacity to be able to deal with all the different people that are hearing what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Because I'm gonna come for that throat. Yeah, I'm gonna come for
I
that
want
throat.
to see some shows about
what
Cardi B when she was talking about how she used to drug and rob men.
Oh,
because there's a lot of standards for different women and different people. And I agree with you, Aisha, that when you say things on the internet, you need to be ready and you need to understand that it is there forever and you're going to be held accountable. And I don't agree that that's not just the person who is the host. I agree that that happens to you in the comments as well. So if you are sensitive to domestic violence and you got in somebody's comments talking crazy because of your own sensitivity, because of your life, and that person responded to you negatively, you should be using more caution as well. All the negativity, I'm not going to condone anybody just attacking anybody without that person having the right to defense. And I think that people are conveniently skipping over the fact that when she did her interview, she didn't say Black women deserve that. She didn't say Black women are ugly and the ones who never had a gun held on them don't know nothing about love. She was responding to people. And I'm not taking, especially she's a domestic violence survivor, as am I, and as is millions of people, unfortunately. I'm not taking anyone's right to defend themselves, especially when they are using words. And that's what she used. Again, she was, if you were a fan of her and you were a subscriber of hers and what she said offended you, okay, so you unsubscribe. When you take it a step and you decide to leave a nasty comment, all is fair in love and war. Just because you think that, she got 17,000 people in here, she's not going to see what I said, and then she literally responds to you, that's your bad. You shouldn't have said anything that you didn't want to be highlighted and you didn't want a response from. Ari, the heavy is a head that wears the crown, yes, but everyone wears a crown. We are all responsible for what we said. And until someone shows me where she gets up for no reason and starts calling people ugly, then I'll be like, she's wild and outside. But if she's responding to somebody, she can respond how she sees fit. And I respect the fact that with all the negativeness that's going on about this, she said, no, I still said what I said. And she said it because it was her truth from a previous incident. The clip that Mel you showed, that's from her and G Herbo. She's not even with that man anymore. She has grown from that. But she had a point in time where she thought that was acceptable. She was sharing her previous truth.
Right.
And I'm not mad at her. I don't take offense to her previous truth. That was her actual real life.
Let me jump in real quick, Shanadi, and again, let me jump in real quick. And Shanadi, again, I again, thank you for pulling up Shanadi, aka Slums Radio, aka Shanadi. Y'all be sure to hit the like button, share, subscribe both here to the Only Male Crew Show and to Slums Radio on YouTube, IG, Twitter. The point is, reset in the room. Mr. Cal made a very intelligent comment. Ignorant comments like the one that Ari made perpetuate the cycle of abuse when they're made on public platforms. And that's where the moral responsibility needs to be upheld. I agree with you so much. If we were on the Station Head app, I'd be, putting it in the air, because that's my whole point on this. No, Ari may not feel like, hey, look, y'all came over to my IG, but Ari, you want us there for a reason. You're successful for a reason, Ari. We help make you. I was watching a video last night. Ari graduated high school. She went to college. She didn't stay long. She did complete a vocational training as a dental assistant. She did that, according to her, for like 3 months, which sounds to me more like she completed the externship and not necessarily was employed as a dental assistant. And, she's had a charmed life. It's worked out for her. She's now, according to her, a millionaire. And she got it going on. Good for you. But everybody is not going to walk that easy path or that particular path. And there are some women out here now that are going to look at Ari. They're going to see this G Herbo because of what she said. Well, that was love to me. So somebody in a G Herbo, Ari Fletcher type scenario now is going to look at it and be like, well, she said that this equated to love, and that's what I'm in. So it must be love. Like, spit on me, baby. Spit on me.
You know what, Miss Mel, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you or whatever. As far as I'm sorry, baby girl, what's your name? I'm sorry. Let me type on my screen. I'm working at the same time. Schnotty, I'm sorry, baby. I did not mean to. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. Schnotty or whatever. Okay. I definitely understand your passion. Like I said, 20 years ago, I absolutely felt the same way. Now and I don't want to, it's not an ageist thing. It's just that I've been around the, son a couple different times now or whatever. So
I'm over 35, so I'm not young.
Okay,
Ari is young.
All right, yeah, and so I'm not even trying to come at you, sideways. What I am saying though is that I think there's a large population of Black women or whatever, and so we have very similar backgrounds. We do, no matter what part of the country you grew up in, or even globally or whatever. That we do have very similar Black backgrounds or whatever. If you deal with Black men or whatever, we all have similar stories to tell as far as dealing with Black men.
And she was sharing hers. And I don't stop people from sharing their stories just because I don't like the way it sounds.
Okay. And so, as I stated before, 20 years ago, I had those same conversations. I thought that same type of, mess with my home.
So should we cancel you for that?
Wait, Shanati, now.
I didn't get on the internet and say it. I don't go on Facebook and, like I'm not, the thing about me is that I'm a lot more, me, I can't speak for nobody else. Myself personally or whatever, I'm a little bit more, covert, and I like to be a little bit more private. I understand that the internet is a gift and a curse. I don't necessarily need the applause and praise. I mean, I don't need to understand what I'm saying or saying. If somebody provides me with a lane such as Ms. Mills has with, the StreamYard, where I can get up here and, state my opinion and give my hot take on it or whatever, I'm cool with that. I'm not brave enough to get out here on my own every day and talk, because I know that everybody's not going to agree with what I say. And as, and me knowing me, I know I'm too sensitive for that mess. I'm not built for that. I would be up here looking like I'd be snapping out. And again, but I realized that about myself, and I don't have, like my livelihood doesn't depend on whether people are, checking for me on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, or whatever. But like, so that's for me. I'm average. I'm basic as hell out here. But what I'm saying, whatever, there's a difference with Miss Ari because she does depend on her livelihood for the people. And so what I'm saying is, even if she felt that way, like, you can say whatever you want or whatever. So I'm hoping that even within the next week, she can come, ma'am, you ain't got to mean nothing, but the bottom line is the bottom line. And the bottom line means my son got to eat or whatever. So with that being said or whatever, you may want to clean that up a little bit and, take back some things. Now, some people ain't going to come back no matter what you like. People, whoever said enough stuff for her to, feel like I need to get up on here and talk my mess. They didn't like her in the first place. They was never here for her in the first place. They hate watch her. And
that's the people she's responding to.
Yeah, and I think that we just have to be a little bit more tactical when we are, when we're addressing, these types of, like, we have to be tactical. And the people that responded to, what she said on that show, and I heard her or whatever, so I know that she was talking about how she handled things before. Or whatever, and I don't think it's fair that folks decide to swarm her. Like I said, but the people that did that, for the majority of the people, they were triggered, of course. But I think I'm gonna say about 75% of them probably they never liked her in the first place, and they just needed a reason to pop off.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Those negative people that she's responding to.
But I think that Ari, her space on the food chain is a little bit higher up. And so if indeed, because I'm referring to her as a queen, and she does have a lot more, clout than everybody else or whatever, why is you feeding them folk? Why would you feed them? I think in the future,
I think that it's simple as wanting to defend yourself.
Well, I think too that for her, what she should have done, because she says, all the stuff, y'all could have picked out something funny that was in this show. Y'all could have did this and that, and she's right. But everybody zoned in on that fact that what she said about the gun and Moneybag
Her
Yo
personal story.
Right. And they may not have heard her say this how it used to be. And so
That's
my
why
thing
I asked
is,
you to play the whole thing, because I don't want it taken out of context.
Oh, no, I'm making sure it's not taken out of context because, again, I said in the beginning, I said it earlier, and I'm saying it again. She stated in that podcast interview, this is how we used to do it. So if that's how you used to do it and you've grown, that's what I'm talking about. Like, demonstrate that.
So here's the thing. She told a personal story and it offended people. A story about her actual life. And she's now expected to apologize because her actual life experience was offensive to someone.
Okay, listen. I think what happened with the backlash is it started because they didn't hear her say it's how it used to be. See, that was a teachable moment and a positive influencing moment then. Because she was able to say, she was able to say that, hey, this is how I used to do. But I done hooked up with Moneybag Yo, who is always on social media talking about how he loved him some Ari. That's why I like Moneybag Yo, because he always says sweet things. You understand what I mean? So that was a teachable moment at that time. So my point is now that oh Lord have mercy, hold on, y'all. My point is that when the backlash came, instead of her getting up and saying, look, y'all, I said what I said, and that is I used to be like that. She could have left it at that and been winning, but she didn't. She chose not to do that. She chose to go for the jugular and say, you ugly, first of all, because you ain't got no body and you wish somebody did love you enough to pull a gun on you. That's straight up baloney. And that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable.
I think, as Ms. Mills just said or whatever, initial, just reiterating that's what happened in the past or whatever, but all the additional, name calling stuff or whatever. And I understand you want to get back, but see, I think that a lot of us is going to learn a lot of hard lessons trying to get that last word in and trying to be more outlandish than the last person or whatever. It only hurts you. It doesn't hurt the people you're talking to. They don't know you. You don't know where they live. You can't. It's not like you can go to their house and square up with them or none of that. You letting them take you out of character or whatever and got like a whole imbecile on the internet, on Beyonce's internet, on Obama's internet. You out here looking crazy. And so what I've learned, is that I don't like to look like a fool for nobody. You hear me? And I find that I look less foolish if I just shut up. Let me just close my mouth. Yeah, you got it. You talk about it. You got it. I got it. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. There you go. Or whatever. And I think like this also, even that while we're talking about it or whatever, this is a good discussion. The discourse as well as just trying to come up with it. And I hope that she learns from it. She's a beautiful girl or whatever, and I think she has the potential to do even more than what she's doing or whatever. And I'm hoping I hope that that she does learn from this or whatever. And if it does come up again, because it will, because it's always going to be some haters, that she chooses to do perhaps the polar opposite of what she decided to do this time.
And I think that she should also be allowed to make mistakes because nobody is perfect.
Right.
And I think that the people in comments should be held to the same standard that the people who are speaking to.
So here's a point. Here's a point about allowing her to make mistakes, because I feel like everybody on this panel would love to see Ari win. She's beautiful. She's a beautiful, I love to hear take Sean David away though to say what it really is, but she's a beautiful young lady, and she's with a man who you wouldn't think, if you look at Moneybag Yo, you wouldn't think he says the sweet things that he says. This man is a sweetheart. And my point is that she should be allowed to make mistakes, but by the same token, she also needs to take responsibility. Because like I said, if she were to say, hey, you know what, I said what I said, and it is what it is, and take it from there. But, I was looking her up earlier, and she had a Black-owned company that kind of was behind her to start her and support her and really get her in the game. Okay. So somebody like me or a parent of some kids who follow Ari, I could go to that company and be like, look, y'all need to come on, say something, or go to Rihanna. You need to do something, Rihanna, or we're going to stop buying your stuff. This isn't just on your live, your IG live.
No,
Absolutely.
people
It's
are
about the bottom line.
gonna lose
Other
out on
aspects of
endorsement.
it.
Yeah, but people are going to lose out endorsement deals for lesser things. Some of us don't get endorsement deals because of being a woman or being the color of our skin. So yeah, there are going to be people who don't want to work with her. But if somebody doesn't want to work with you, do you really want to work with them? So I think that if we don't put a high value on money and opportunity, because let's just be honest. Where is Ari going and what does she do? She gets paid to go to parties and clubs, and she gets paid a handsome money for that. She hosts events. So when we say canceling her, how many bars and clubs you think are going to stop paying her to come? No, she may not get Fenty, but Fenty is not the end all to be all. Drea has a swimsuit line. You never know. Drea may say, you know what? Come over to Men's Swim because I know what it's like to be canceled for an off comment joke about your personal life. So just because one thing may not work out, don't mean something else may not work out. And just because certain people cancel you, don't mean you canceled by planet Earth. So we got to stop just looking at things as you missed out on an opportunity. Oh, you effed it up. She is a real person. She makes mistakes. And whether we want to be honest or not, the majority of comments about Ari is not that she's pretty. People talk about the shape of her face, her makeup all the time, her hair, whether or not it was done by Tay. If they don't think it was done by Tay, then it was done wrong. She receives a lot of negativity on the internet. The majority of the videos made about her are not flattering. They're not. So I believe that she has the right to defend herself. Now, when she's talking business, hopefully she doesn't bring that energy into meetings. But even if she does that, that's a learning experience. Solange beat up Jay-Z in an interview. I mean, in an elevator. Where's the police report? Why is she not canceled? Why is Beyonce not canceled for allowing that to happen to her husband by her sister and not coming out? People pick and choose. And Ari, for whatever reason, it could be because she's dark-skinned. It could be because her ex-baby daddy, who clearly had an issue with her in domestic violence. It could be whatever. But why people are... It just seems the double standard, and the fact that Ari's always facing a double standard to me.
So Shanati, let me reset the room real quick, and let me definitely shout out Sean Davy Way's show. Sean Davy Way, thank you. His comment: she doesn't have to apologize, but she better apologize if she loses endorsements. Keep the same energy. Don't apologize to secure a check, but not to do it to secure your audience. Totally. And the thing, the whole thing is not about canceling Ari, because she is a young lady and she can learn. I'm talking about the social responsibility, the fact that whether you like it or not, people are listening to you. You are an influencer. Check this part out on this clip, y'all, real quick.
The funny part, y'all could have chose, but you chose to close my put your gun out on me, Shay. So
that is, I mean, the emotional intelligence that she's just demonstrating there is like a kindergarten. Come on.
Null and
I'm
void.
not buying no weed from you because you ain't gonna do shit with it, but go and buy some candy with it. You're not even, I don't even think you're gonna do anything with it for your child. What kind of
Miss Mills or whatever, and
yes.
Shanati, I wanted to also bring up, because Shanati had talked about the double standards, but I'd like to point out Solange, now her sister has been established in the business for 25 years, if not more, or whatever, so they already have an established and very concrete machine behind them. So that was never going to be anything that was caught on accident or whatever. That was just for fodder. That wasn't something.
But I'm talking about the comments, the media, the social media.
So I'd also like to bring up Michelle Obama and her, 8 years that she was our, Black, first lady of the United States, and how a lot of people, would call her a man. They still do. She's trending on Twitter today, as a matter of fact. Whatever, and how and she's been on several different interviews and talked about her frustration behind the scenes. However, she had never gotten up on Twitter and said, you know what, you crackers and you lazy Negro, what I mean, like that never happened or whatever. And I'd like to say that I need, Ari, again, like Miss Mel's just mentioned or whatever, the emotional intelligence. There's something so classy and there's something so admirable about a woman facing, all kinds of ridiculousness in the public, and her being able to come into the public in a way or whatever, and that also tells me something about Ari and her support system. Like, baby girl, where's your friends? Where's your family? Did you not have anybody to, talk you down before, pressing live on that phone? Like, where's the people that really, like, who's looking out for you, sis? Who's looking out for you? Because I understand she does have a right to defend herself. And she is grown.
So if I'm grown and I want to respond to something to people, probably not one person, but if I want to respond to people who are coming at me, unfortunately, I hear what you're saying, but yeah, I'm gonna still do shit. When I was a teenager, I still might do what I want to do. So your manager, the support system, these people work for you. So they can't control you. They can advise you.
I'm gonna talk you off the ledge. Anything that is not serving you, that is not going to bring through, some money for you, that is not going to make you feel beautiful, that is not going to make you feel intelligent, anything that is not going to solidify the beautiful Black woman that you are, honey, I'm going to talk you off the ledge every single time. Do you hear me?
No, you can try, but that doesn't mean the person is going to go for it. And sometimes defending yourself does make you feel better. And when you're constantly being attacked by not 10 people or 20 people, but thousands of people, and you're constantly being attacked for your looks and for everything that you do for the most part, and how you bring nothing to planet Earth except for producing children, sometimes defending yourself is what gives your mental health that peace, because you know that there is something that you have spoken your piece, no matter how anybody wants to hear it or receive it. So she defended herself. Why would Moneybag Yo? What is he responding to? It was an interview that she did, and it's taken out of context, and it's still being taken out of context. And her replying to trolls is now becoming a bigger picture on Black, white, and social media etiquette and all these other things. Meanwhile, I don't hear conversations about the things that people say in comments and how they could be damaging. Just because she's a social media whatever doesn't mean that the things that people say to her don't hurt her. It don't mean that they don't affect her. It doesn't mean that that she doesn't feel pain and she lacks empathy. It means that I am responding to someone attacking me, and I'm not giving up my self-defense because I'm a celebrity in someone else's eyes.
I mean, you know what, and I concur with what you're saying. However, I will also say that there are meteorologists and weathermen who have to go out into the when it's snowing or raining and they have to go outside. Let's say they go outside and they don't have they don't wear a rain jacket or the proper equipment in order to be protected from said bad weather or whatever. Then they don't go out to they don't film themselves on their camera cussing out the snow or cussing out the rain because they got wet. See, the thing is that the way social media is set up, there's always, this is entertainment for everybody. And trolls, we know that's just as cemented with the internet as it is, as the platforms are or whatever. So there's always going to be someone responding, no matter how good you're trying to be or how bad you're trying to be. There's always going to be people and naysayers out there that are going to go against you. I'm just saying that I think it would serve her better. Like you can't, the only way to me, the best revenge is getting your paper and getting even more famous and making them even more mad. And smiling in their face.
But getting paper doesn't help with your mental state. So she's constantly being attacked. If she made an offhand comment regarding her actual personal life and she's now being attacked and it's affecting her, making more money is not going to make her feel better. There are plenty of people who have money who are still depressed, who still commit suicide and do things of that nature. So sometimes people who don't have a lot of means, that being myself, always feel like having more money is going to solve the problems. When we see celebrities who lose family members, who get arrested, and the point you made earlier about Michelle Obama, if somebody is holding Ari Fletcher to the Michelle Obama standard, that's crazy to me. And I mean, good luck with that. You're going to constantly be disappointed. I don't hold myself to that standard because there's only one Michelle Obama, there's only one Shinotti, there's only one Beyonce,
and only one
bringing them into it
only
because
one
there
Mel
was
Cruz.
a public. Sorry,
I said there's only one, the only Mel Cruz.
There's only one Mel Cruz. Me bringing up the Beyonce situation. It doesn't matter if Beyonce has and Jay-Z, because Jay-Z was a victim in this situation, if they have a following or if they are established, if people are outraged about domestic violence and protect Black men and domestic violence in general, then you cannot sit up and say that I understand why things didn't go go a certain type of way for Solange. What you're saying is it is okay when this person does something, but I'm gonna hold that woman over there to a different standard. Michelle Obama and Ari Fletcher should not really be mentioned in the same category unless they walk past each other at the same time and somebody caught it on camera. Like, that's just simple. I am not a lawyer. I wasn't married to the president of the United States. I don't, so I shouldn't be expected to act like that.
Well,
we expect certain people to act a certain type of way. And like I said before, she's a club promoter hostess who sells hair and makeup on the side. So what exactly is the influence, except for the people she influences maybe they should have a little bit more going on if they're looking to her for influence.
I think that, as we just stated, everybody, we're all individuals or whatever. So, although Ari may not be at the same social, and elite standing that Solange, Beyonce, or Michelle Obama, are, she's still that, she has way more standing than I do. Or whatever, and she is, held at a certain, she's going to be held in a certain regard. And I brought up the Michelle Obama, critique and, that element of it because of you were saying about people, saying, just coming at Ari's neck, constantly or whatever, no matter what she does, good, better, and different, they're constantly talking about, making unflattering comments to her on the internet. And
you want her to go high instead of going low.
Well, I'll get in here and say this. I'll get in here and say this, Shanadi. And Alicia, I agree with what you said about her support group because, and somebody in the comments said Ari needs a life coach, and I agree. I think Taniqua said that. The point is that, we got to do better. Because also, Ari got on live talking about, I got these goals for 2022 and it's going to be amazing and my life is good. But you know what, Ari, those goals are only going to be successful if you have support.
God sees fit.
Yeah, definitely that. And then after that, if you have supporters. And if you don't have any supporters, then that new building you plan on getting is not going to be hitting on nothing. Let's check it out real quick.
Yeah, 20, baby. I got so much stuff about to drop. We got so much stuff going on. Like, so much. And I can't wait. I'm so excited. And I'm building my team. Like, it's everything just seems to really be like, for the new year, that's what I'm so excited about.
I could care less. I'm offended by her immaturity. That's just my biggest point. So the ultimate point of this conversation, because like you said initially, Shanadi, if you're not talking about, giving resources and recommending resources and sending cash apps and, to domestic violence organizations, etc. If you're not doing that, then this is nothing but mess. And I can see that perspective. But the bottom line too is the conversation needs to be about how are we as Black women, how are we interacting with each other? What standards are we setting for ourselves? What is, where does it end? Where, how low do we have to go? How low are we willing to go as Black women?
Miss Mills, I
Yes,
guess
ma'am.
I'm gonna get up off of here or whatever. I just wanted to and thank you so much for letting me speak my piece on here. But I also wanted to, to Shanadi's point as well as to your point. The thing is, Black women, we are not a monolith. We are not a vacuum. So we represent every spectrum of the rainbow, and we are emotional because we are human and we were born in emotion. So it's okay to be happy, sad, jealous, mad, angry, all of that. We are allowed to express those emotions freely, like any other human being would or whatever. So I think that, just as Shanadi has stated or whatever, this, I think that this should be a learning, should be used as a learning, tool for Ari or whatever. And I really do hope that she get the support that she needs or whatever, and surround herself with like-minded, if not better, Black women to get herself to the place that she needs to go to, because she deserves everything. She deserves everything. But I want to thank you very much for allowing me to speak. And thank you so much, Shanadi. And I appreciate hearing both of y'all.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming up here. And I like hearing your conversation too.
Yes,
all right. Thank you, ladies. Y'all have a wonderful day. Happy New Year.
You too.
Yeah, you guys be sure to like, share, subscribe, not just to this channel that you're on right now, The Only Male Cruise, but also make sure you pop over to Slums Radio on YouTube and hit the likes, subscribe button over there as well. Shanati, I do. I think that's really a good point for us to wrap up. Unless anybody else wants to pop up on deck. You know, as so many aspects to it, and I just feel like, you know, we just going into 2022, y'all. I just feel like we need to do better. We need to present better standards, because if you've noticed, there's so many men out here now that are you know, presenting themselves as the authority on women's issues. You know, black women, y'all this, y'all that, y'all this. Well, wait a minute, you're a man. How are you going to sit here and tell me as a black woman all my problems? And I've been saying this on every social media platform I get on when they're having this conversation, is that instead of black men getting all together trying to tell us black women what's wrong with us, why don't you guys, black men, get together and tell the young black men and the other black men what the problem is, so that the interaction can be better? And so I just feel like, you know, for me, I'm big on the girl code. You know, we just need to do better. And Ari just needs to do better as well. That's my thoughts. So you, any final thoughts there, Shanati?
I just want to say that I respect the fact that we have freedom of speech. I practice freedom of speech, and I respond to people who criticize me, and it is not always polite, and it is not always church friendly. And 99% of the time, I do not apologize for my response to people. Because if you say something to me, I'm going to say something back, and you probably will not like it. So think before you speak. And I appreciate Ari for showing that same tenacity, because it can get you in trouble. It can make people feel like you're a certain type of person, because when you're winning an argument, it's easy to forget that you're on the defense.
Okay. So Ms. Mackey popped up on. What's going on, Ms. Mackey? So you jumped on the stream real quick. What's tea?
Miss Lackey.
What's tea?
Hey y'all. Hey everybody. Hey Shanati.
Hey.
How are y'all doing? And
Thank you for
we only male crews. You're right. You're the only one.
That's right.
And I appreciate you inviting me. And I look forward to working with you, honey. It's just it's a real busy time. You heard it was busy in my background. I got up here. I am gonna be plumb off subject. I'm gonna be plumb off subject with this. I had something to say. When I was in the chat, I saw everybody that I used to be with it over at Sean Davy Way and Hot Shot Radio and everybody. I just wanted to, and Mel, you already know about it. I just want to let all of y'all know, this is me, Miss Lackey, the real Miss Lackey. I've been trolled, and y'all know that. I put it up on the community tab. I put it on Instagram. Somebody had my name and my face and was going in everybody's chat and was saying all kind of crazy stuff. That was not me, y'all. So I wanted to let all of y'all know, because I see all of my old mod sisters and everybody in there. And I just want y'all know I love y'all. But I look forward to working with you, Mel. We're gonna have to do more, and we will get together after this. You can call me after this, and we will get together. I'm open. I'm always open and ready and available. And Shanati, I didn't want to get up here with Shanati. I don't heard Shanati on
Shanati take you down.
I'm scared of Shanati.
Shanati will take that ass down, but I'm gonna tell you what.
Take you know what? Down. So I was
honestly, I appreciated
when
that
you
somebody said
left
that.
me a voice clip. I was like, we gonna get on now. I want you to come and get on the panel with us. And you said Shanati. I was like, oh snap!
Got scared? No, yeah.
Shanati gonna get up in me.
No,
y'all, the conversation that y'all two are having right now about me, it happens. It's happened to me before, but that I resent that conversation.
But let me tell you something,
because there are
Shanati.
people.
Let me tell you something,
Shanati. Of me, and I know you don't mean no offense, but this is what I mean about social media. Because I say things to people, or because I sat with my friends and we responded to things that were either happening with celebrities or with trolls who were coming at us, I have a reputation of being somebody you have to, watch out. You never know what she's gonna say. In real life, the people, Alexis, Taniqua, Wonder Woman, Sean, in real life, the people who talk to me on a regular basis will tell you that I have a planner. I play with stickers. I do so many other things. And 99% of the time, I am not telling people off is what y'all is the perception that y'all have.
Whoa.
No, I didn't. Now my reputation.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in real quick. Now, Shanati, you know that I hit you up, and I got my phone right here. I hit the voice clips. I called you because I needed you. Like I told you.
No, what I'm saying is my reputation as far as being, for lack of a better phrase, combative.
No.
Reputation that I have.
No. Here's my thing.
That reputation can make me defensive.
Okay,
and even though you and Miss Lackey didn't mean anything by it, just saying how Shanati is or a girl is Shanati, that makes me feel some type of way.
Let me jump in for a minute.
Hold on.
Let me jump in for a second. No, Shanati, I've only heard you one time.
Let me clarify this.
I've only heard you one time.
And I'm not actually offended. What I'm saying is people's perception of me, just like people's perception of Ari, makes people feel like I'm going to respond a certain way. I'm going to be a certain type of person. And they project that as well onto Ari. So it was a good segue for me to end up my conversation with saying that it literally just happened to me. You don't mean no harm. And I don't actually take offense. It's annoying that people think that when I get on the internet, I'm going to be a certain type of way.
I don't want you to take any offense, and I want you to receive my point of view out of respect, because I don't think this conversation really could have happened well without you, which is why you're the first person I asked. This is why I said, Shanati, come on here. I want to do this show about Ari, but it's pissing me off so bad. And I knew that I needed to have someone with and I say opposing, I don't mean negative. I mean an opposing opinion as in different than mine, because I need to be able to see it more than just the way I see it, because you did bring out some very good points of view. And even though I don't say, yeah, girl, that's exactly what I was thinking, I can say, damn, I didn't think of it that way. Because when you look at it that way, it makes sense. So
and she's telling the truth. She's telling the truth, because whenever she called and invited me to come, she was saying, Shanati's going to be there. And she was like, I think that if you come, it'll be perfect. It'll be, perfect. The panel will be perfect. But Shanati, what I was trying to tell you real quick is when I first came, the first time I was in the chat, and I appreciate all the warm welcomes from everybody. When I first came and I was listening to you, both of you talking at first, I was actually on Shanati's side in the beginning. So I was siding with you, Shanati, because I agreed with you, because it was taken out. I thought it was taken out of context. So I was agreeing with you on that part in the beginning. So anyway, I love you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and take care of some business. But yes, thank you for inviting me, and kisses to everybody. And I love everybody. And I love you all in the chat.
You too, Miss
See you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, Shanati. No, and I thank you for coming up, because like I said, if you hadn't shown up, like I said, the live would have been going on, and the only thing y'all would have heard was equipment banging and bamming and slamming and breaking, because I started to do the show by myself, and I was like, damn, this shit is pissing me off. It's pissing me off. And so in speaking with you, Shanati, you did bring a completely different point of view to be considered. And whether we agree with what I'm saying or not, you have some very valid points, because the people are going to, if they're going to love Ari or they're not. They're going to support Ari or they're not. Or they're not going to put that much responsibility on Ari. And that's the truth. So please don't be offended. You know that I love you, girl. I've been loving you since stereo days. So don't take it no kind of way. I'm Team Shanati. That's why I got it up there. Shout out to Pink Unicorn. So other than that, y'all, that is it. That's the
Thank you
podcast.
for having me.
What'd you say?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for pulling up. And I hope thank you for pulling up, Shanati. I appreciate y'all. Y'all be sure to like, share, subscribe, not just to this show, but to Slums Radio on YouTube. And again, appreciate y'all showing up, and thanks for pulling up. So with that being said, until the next time, we will see you when we see you. Welcome to the Only Male Cruise Show, the podcast. I am the Only Male Cruise. Be sure to hit the like button, share, subscribe, leave a comment. You know I want to hear from you. Copyright disclaimer regarding fair use is in full effect. The views and opinions expressed in this show, you guessed it, they're all mine. Let's go to work.